How would you rate your players' level of focus out there the last 2 days?
I think it's been really good. I think the energy's been great. I think you know, a lot of things have happened over the past week. As I said at the press conference, I thought the best thing for us was to get back in a routine, get back with the guys who they know, and get into meetings. And you know, we're still in summer school. So, you know, guys are in class in the morning, and it's kind of half a camp. You know, we're kind of working around it, but in the afternoons, and we get the same meal schedule. And then next week, we'll get into some two-a-day practices. But the best thing has been to be around each other and you know, talk through some things and play football. And I think the energy level's been good, and I think not only that, you know, whenever you have new guys. There's a new energy, and you know, these new guys got some juice to them. So they're not backing off any, and that's creating some real battles within the young guys to play between themselves, but also some battles with the old guys, and really creating some good tempo in practice.
Can you specifically maybe talk about some of the young guys that stood out to you?
You know, I don't know. You know, you've got a bunch of young receivers out there that are competing, and we needed that. Quiviante has got real speed. You know, he hasn't really played on the perimeter that much, but I've been really shocked by how his ball skills have been. I thought that he'd be behind a little bit. He's behind in route running, but he's not behind in speed. And so Ricky's been really, really good. He's 240 pounds. He's has been able to do some things. Sebastian LaRue is as advertised. You know, there's a bunch of those young guys on the perimeter that are going to have to help us just from a depth standpoint, number one. But number two, they're talented enough if they can keep coming and learn the nuances. And that's the hardest thing for a young guy, is not just run the route on the paper, but to be able to adjust and feel things. And so, you know, those guys are coming along. I think defensively, you know, the young D linemen will get in the mix. We're going to have a couple of those linebackers that, and then I think the big thing coming out of this is our depth on special teams. You know, last year we had Sean Porter and Jinx and half our 9 of our starters, either offensively and defensively, Ben Molina running down the field on kickoffs. We just didn't have enough depth. And these young guys are fast enough, big enough guys, and athletic enough. I think they're going to really, really help us on special teams, which helps our complete depth across the board.
Brandon Williams walking around a boot, is that serious, or do you expect him out for a length of time?
We just keep him in a boot for a while, make sure he's going to be all right. And you know, he had a surgery in the off season, and just want to make sure that everything's stable. So,
do you expect him ready for the 31st?
I expect him to be ready to go 31st.
Clarence both mentioned the need to find a backup quarterback. You knew what you have in Davis and Jokel. How has Kenny Hill the first couple days?
It's been good. You know, he's got a lot of reps. You know, it's our plan, you know, really with reps has been similar to last year, and just really this first week, because guys really had the week off last week. Giving all those guys a bunch of turns, kind of rotating them through the day, and mixing and matching them with a lot of these different receivers. So they're getting plenty of turns. I think the biggest thing we've done is increase the number of team plays at the end, which, because we have a lot more numbers now to evaluate across the board and get our quarterbacks more reps. So they've all looked pretty good. They've all had their moments. You know, Kenny's probably going to be the furthest behind as we move forward this week, because of all the stuff that Coach Snyder does. And early, he doesn't give us a chance to learn cover 2 and single safety, because there's guys coming from everywhere. But there's good and bad to that. But I think he's handling it pretty well. All those guys have.
I know it's real early, but what does Kenny bring to the table skill-wise?
You know, I think you've got different guys there. You know, you've got Matt Davis can move around, try to create some things. Jokel's a guy, more of a pocket guy, and Kenny's probably a little bit of both. And you know, those guys have got a little age on him and been in the system a little bit longer, a year longer than he has. You know, kid just got here, he's been here this summer. So, you know, the thing that helps him, he's played in a system that's very similar at Southlake. Carroll, so you know, we'll see. Just things are happening faster. You know, he threw a field comeback the other day that got picked off, and I said, "There's a little bit things happen a little bit faster out here, aren't there, dog?" And he said, "Yeah, Coach, they are." And normally in high school, I could make that, you know, so those are kind of things that transition from high school to this level. You just got to get used to it.
Couple more.
You mentioned the 3 core leaders yesterday: Matthews, Tony Hurd, and Ben Molina. You had also mentioned some other guys are starting to come out. Who are those guys?
Well, you know, we've got some underclassmen that you know, guys that you expect to lead. Mike Evans, you know, guys who have played a lot of football for us. Cedric Abray, and you know, on and on and on across that line. You know, Jarvis doesn't say a word; he just plays. Harrison and Kirby's been very good. Jenkins has been very good. You know, so yeah, we've got some guys who are sophomore, junior class guys that have really stepped forward and become leaders offensively and defensively, and that's going to be important. You know, we try to develop. Last year, you know, every team's different. Last year, you know, our senior leadership was very, very important to us. This year, because of you know, our leadership council, we've tried to spread that role throughout the classes, whether it were freshmen, sophomore, juniors, and seniors to be, and have those classes vote on those guys, and those guys are leaders. You know, it hurts that Brandon's not out there right now. He's been a leader through the summer. Mike Evans has been a leader through the summer. You know, besides those senior guys, a lot of those younger guys are going to have to help us win, just like they did last year. And it's okay. It's okay to speak up if you play. And you know, if you're a new guy and a young guy, but we're trusting you with the football every snap, or we're trusting you to make a play, you ought to be able to speak up. And I think those guys I've talked about, I think they've done a great job kind of pulling the team together and leading by example.
Have you seen any of the guys walk out on the field that, you know, look like they've worked a lot with Larry Jackson and put a lot of good work?
Oh, there's no doubt. You know, everybody was talking about, you know, just the look of our team looks different, and a lot of those young guys help. That walk in the door 6'3", 225, 6'4", 6'5". I mean, that changed the look of your team in a hurry, particularly when you got 31 new guys. So, you know, yeah, I think we had a great summer. We only had a couple guys that we really thought did not, you know, in Coach Jackson's opinion, weren't up to par in the voluntary workouts, which that says a lot about your team, because that isn't mandatory. That means that you know, winning is year-round, and for those guys to come in the summer, that takes, as you asked, Courtney, that takes leadership from within, and guys that push them to come there, and guys that want to win instead of everybody calling each other and trying to figure out what's happening. So, you know, it's a culture, and it takes some time, but you know, I'm happy that they've put in the time this summer, and I think you can see the difference in a lot of different people.